All right, welcome back to another episode of Small Guys Podcast. Today we're doing Oscar-nominated movie The Holdovers. A cranky history teacher at a remote prep school is forced to remain on campus over the holidays with a troubled student who has no place to go and a grieving cook. This movie has a 97% critic score and a 91% audience score. 2 hours, 13 minutes. It's on the cock right now. If you haven't seen it, Peacock. And you can watch this movie. I didn't know anything about this before going into it. This is a solo episode, by the way, if you're listening. I didn't know anything about this movie before going in to see it, besides that Paul Giamatti was in it. What did you guys think of this? And did you know anything about it beforehand?
Hi, my name's Josh. Just Josh on here tonight. I didn't know anything about it, but I wasn't even going to watch it because you guys were supposed to record while I was at the game last night. And Josh was like, Brian,
who won that game?
Giamatti. Fucking Wings lost in OT, dude. It was so stupid.
I was so hurt.
I was hurt, bro. Me and Mike have never watched them win when we're in that fucking suite. But whatever.
Well, if you told me you were going, I wouldn't have bet on them winning. I didn't know. I didn't know that stat. You got to tell me that statistic before you go.
They knew I was in there. Patrick Kane decided he didn't want to play, and they were like, yep, boys, we're good to lose by one. Brian's in the building.
Yeah, dude, I haven't even been touching the Red Wings. And then Chewy told me he's having a Red Wings dream bet. So it's like, how do I not tail that?
No. I'm sorry about that. I fucked that one up. That's on me. Sorry to the city of Detroit.
I blame you.
But yeah, Josh had texted me that Paul Giamatti was in it, and it was a Christmas movie. So like, I was sold off for it.
This is the second one we've done in the past 2 months, month.
Mm-hmm.
We just did a Paul Giamatti Christmas movie.
Yeah, I mean, I've been watching some of those YouTube videos of like the roundtables and shit like that, and normally they pump them up like during like Oscar and like nom times. So I saw Paul Giamatti was in a bunch of them. I'm like, all right, so he must be getting nominated for something. And I didn't really hear anything about it. I didn't even see the trailer when it first dropped. And then obviously once it got nominated and stuff like that, I added it to the list. And I mean, I didn't know shit about it. I didn't even watch the trailer for it. So, I mean, I kind of like going into movies not knowing anything, especially not watching trailers, because I feel like, I mean, pretty much every movie that I've seen that I haven't watched the trailer for turns out great. And I'm not like just saying that because I haven't watched the trailer, but I mean, it's like a oncoming thing. It reoccurs. But no, I mean, I enjoyed this movie. I didn't think it was going to be as sad as it was. I mean, it's not like a tearjerker, but it's definitely like, I don't know. I mean, it just makes you appreciate, I don't know, I guess people in your lives. Like, even if
it can get you a little bit at the end.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
it's really what it is. I mean, you can relate to it.
Right.
I mean, like any relationship you had with a teacher in high school or middle school, anything like that. And then, you know, obviously them going like separate ways eventually. But I mean, it's all like because they were just, you know, he was the only one that was left alone during the holidays and stuff at a boarding school. So, but no, I think definitely Paul Giamatti 100% deserves a nomination for this. I mean, I don't know. I think even the chef, the cook, should have been nominated as well.
Dude, she's fucking good.
Yeah, she did a good ass job. The kid, he was somewhat, he was all right. One of the guys at work,
he had his moments.
Yeah, one of the guys at work told me to watch this, and he's like, "I fucking hate the kid." He said,
"I would say that I hate him. This is his first acting role ever. So like for it to be his first acting role and to be behind a good actor and a good actress like that, I think he did a pretty good job.
100%.
And then I just want to say off rip, I was in it because again, Josh was like, "Oh, it's a Christmas movie." I knew I was gonna fuck with it. But the first couple shots, dude, when they're showing all the snowfall and stuff, it just had that relaxing, calm feeling to it. And for a movie to get you within the first 2 shots, dude, was fucking so great.
100%. The still shots and the fact that it was the ratio was tightened, and there was a bunch of it had that film grain to it, like it was shot on film. So
I really like that. Like when they showed. Next to the bed, there's the heater and then there's just the shit laying on top of it, and it was just dude, I don't even care what the fuck this movie's about. I'm in it now.
Yeah, this time of the year is kind of cool. I feel like because not a ton of movies are coming out, especially January time, I'd say. But it's cool, for this podcast that we prepare for the Oscars because we get to watch these gems that we didn't get a chance to see throughout the year. This one's a newer movie, anyways. But it's cool to watch movies like this because it was really good. And I feel like we're just kind of on a heater for good movies recently with like The Iron Claw and Saltburn and this. So I do want to talk about Paul Giamatti just himself. So he was nominated for actor in a leading role. He's up against like Bradley Cooper. I know Cillian Murphy. Cillian Murphy would probably win it, if I'm being honest. But I think I'll be somewhat close. Now I haven't seen a couple of these other ones, like Bradley Cooper's for Maestro, Jeffrey Wright for American Fiction. Like that's another one we gotta
I
watch.
heard American Fiction is really good.
Yeah, Coleman Domingo for Rustin. I haven't seen that either. But those are the 5. I think definitely Paul Giamatti deserves to be up here. I don't know if he'll win it or not. But I did look up, and I'm curious if you guys did too, or at least noticed before it's mentioned throughout the movie. He mentions his lazy eye.
Mhm.
I looked up the first like maybe 30 minutes into the movie if Paul Giamatti had a lazy eye, and maybe I've just never noticed it. And we
Yep.
just watched Fred Claus, which he's in. We've seen a few other things, maybe movies where he's blue, perhaps. But
His best
yeah,
film, you mean?
Yeah.
yeah. So I was like, did he
Oh,
develop a
sorry.
lazy eye? I know that can happen. Apparently, he does not have a lazy eye. He's just able to do that, and he won't tell people how. In interviews, they keep asking him, and he won't explain it. Right. But it's sometimes, dude, it's like crazy. You can notice it,
No, I
and
mean,
then sometimes
especially
it's
doing
not
it-
that bad.
And I was mentioning this too. Like I was talking at work, in the last movie I saw was Christian Bale, Margot Robbie, uh, John David Washington, and that was Amsterdam, I think. And in that
Okay.
movie, Christian Bale was like a war vet, and he loses his eye, and it's like a huge emphasis on the movie that he has a fake glass eye. And the absolute worst part about that movie is right when they say it, like right at the beginning, you're just fixated on Christian Bale's eye. Like anytime he's on screen, you're just staring at it, and the pupils moving like it's a completely functioning eye. Whereas you have this movie, and he has a lazy eye. You don't even know if it's a glass eye. Like I thought at one point in the movie when he was gonna explaining it, I was like,
Mhm.
oh, like he was like, it's my right eye. Like when he says that, I was like, oh, maybe it's fake. Stuff like that. And I mean, to hear that it's like just him doing that, and there's no CGI, no like props or anything. Like I don't know. I give him his flowers because I mean, you're looking at it, you can tell every scene that he's in, like you see that it's still and like it's going around, like every time he's moving and talking and doing stuff like that.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, you're like distracted by it almost.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, that's what it stood out to me so much. I had to look it up. I'm like, maybe he's had one, or maybe he developed one. And right away, it's like it took me right to his interviews where he won't tell people how he did it. So, yeah, I feel like he's one of those actors for sure that just doesn't get enough credit. I mean,
Oh,
the
yeah.
guy
I mean,
can be
he's-
kind of a goofball.
He's
That's
been
my
around
saying.
for decades, and I mean,
Right.
like yeah, he was in some Disney movies, stuff like that, but
A lot of
he's got
TV
a lot
shows.
of serious roles,
Right.
and it's good. I mean, you just give. I mean, it really goes down to a writer and a director. You go. I mean, because you could pretty much throw any old dude in this cast. I guess you could call it this character. But, I mean,
Yeah,
it's
I'm
pretty
curious
good.
if they had him in mind or if they're like, we
Possibly.
need someone to do it. I don't know.
I kept thinking throughout it would have been great to see like Robin Williams do this role.
Definitely.
Okay,
But it
so I
reminded
want to
me a lot
say
of Dead Poets Society.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Dead Poet. I was thinking Good Will Hunting.
I was also thinking Good Will Hunting,
Oh,
and then
that's
I
what I
realized
was getting.
like, that's
Yeah.
when I realized I was like, maybe I'm just thinking Robin Williams would absolutely fucking murder this role.
He would kill it.
But I don't even think because of Dead Poets Society he would even do this.
That's fair.
Or Goodwill Hunting. But I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know. It's right up his alley. So
Well, I think with the I guess technically wasn't a teacher, but the kind of that kind of role in a young man's life and a student, I feel like that kind of gave me Good Will Hunting. That's what I was thinking throughout the movie, especially when it was just the two of them. Yeah, and the thing I really liked about this movie a lot was the character development between the main 3 characters that we see just throughout the film. Because I'll say this too, and this is kind of a negative for me a tad bit. I feel like it takes a while to get moving in a way. Like because I went in blind, so I didn't know what was happening, and I'm like, okay, this movie's a little slow. It's like, is it all going to take place at the school? I didn't know if they're going for like a Breakfast Club type thing with all the kids. Like if it was a binding
Yeah.
movie with the kids, and then Paul Giamatti's trying to like, he turns a leaf or something like that. Whatever it is, right? I didn't know what to expect. So once they left, I felt like that's when the movie just started picking up a lot more for me, and I started enjoying it a lot more. Like the second half of the movie was a lot better for me personally. But I understand why it took so long to get there.
Yeah,
I'd
I mean, I
agree.
definitely thought the kids were going to be in there the entire movie, but I was shocked when they all dipped out. But I mean, then it makes sense, like when he's the last one standing,
Right.
and then you kind of got like a better idea of what the story's going to be about.
When all the kids were there, I was getting to like a unaccompanied minors vibe.
Mm-hmm.
I was
Yeah,
thinking of
definitely.
that movie a lot. But
Yeah.
no, I had accidentally spoiled it for myself. I was reading through the description and it said there was only one kid left. And I was like, what the fuck? There's like a group of 5 of them. And then you hear the helicopter come in and you go, oh, so everyone's going to leave right now and it's going to be totally left. And that's exactly what happened. But I think it worked really well. I was scared that it was going to be the shithead kid left and then they were going to force us to like him throughout the movie.
Yeah.
I can't remember his
Oh,
name right now.
yeah, Teddy
Yeah, not the
Knetz or
football
whatever.
player, but the other one. Yeah,
Yeah,
Knetz.
the other guy.
That was just a
Yeah.
complete fucking asshole.
Yeah, he was. The burns at the end was funny.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, so I guess, I mean, we kind of mentioned it a little bit. What did you guys think of the Angus Tully character? Because he had some good development too, I'd say.
Yeah,
he had a
no, I
great
mean,
development. And you got to remember, he's a fucking kid. And I
Mhm.
looked it up. Dude's only like 21 years old in real life, 22, depending on his birthday. He was
Wow.
born in 02. But so like for him to portray, assuming a 17-year-old,
Yeah.
it kept coming to those moments where it's like, wow, this is going to be the turnaround and now they're going to be best friends. But he kept fucking turning his back and being a
Yeah.
shithead throughout the movie. And you're like, God damn it, dude.
And that's one thing I liked about it too, is that like, because you're waiting for that moment where they're like hanging out and he's like
Mhm.
waking up and they're seeing each other, like that's they're, like you said, best friends, but he doesn't want that and neither of them want that, and that's the best part about it. And yeah, I mean, every time, like you said, I mean, he's getting in some shit, and then it looks like Angus is the bad guy when he's when he was like talking shit to that guy at the pinball machine.
Yep.
And then later that night, like Paul Giamatti's character, what is it, Paul?
I know
Yeah.
his name's Paul in the movie, but I forget
Yeah.
his
Mr.
last
Hunnam.
name.
Yeah, he lies to that guy that he ran him over with his car. He hit him with his car.
Mhm.
Yeah, because he was at Harvard or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, and it's funny because they're both like not good people.
No, but they push how important honesty is onto each other as well, though.
Yeah. While each lying.
Yeah, because that first body moment.
It ends with a lie.
Yep. But that first body moment does come when he's running through the fucking school and he jumps on the fucking spring thing and just breaks his arm or dislocates it. And then they
Instantly.
go to the yep. And
Yeah,
he's
he dislocates his
screaming.
shoulder, and then he's screaming.
Yep.
And I thought it was fake. I'm like, oh,
I thought he was
Yeah,
faking
I
it
thought
first too.
I for
because
sure.
I'm
thought
like,
he
no
was
way
faking
that
it.
you like anyone react like that. Like, I
No.
don't know. But this movie takes place in the 70s, right?
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
1970 and then 71.
no, I like
Um,
that. I thought that I like the fact that they didn't stay like at the school, like especially when they went on that trip to Boston.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just moving around like that, because obviously Paul's character feels bad for him in some way because
Yeah.
he's the only kid there.
Yeah, and Mary was also like the one, even though we see Mary's grieving because her son died in Vietnam and was a student at the school. And so that's why Mary didn't go anywhere, and that's why she was there with all of them. But Mary would be the one in Paul's ear, just like, it's a fucking kid, dude.
Yeah,
And like
definitely.
they were talking in, what was it, after the Christmas party? Where she's like, you don't tell a kid that was left at school that's under your supervision that you don't want him there. Like, that's fucked up.
Right.
And that's when you see Paul Giamatti go out and get that bullshit little tree like it's from fucking Charlie Brown. And he
Yeah.
gets them the same copy of the book, which you later see at the end. He just got a big box of the same fucking
He's got
book.
like 10 of them.
Dude,
Funny
when
shit.
he gave Mary the same book and she opened it, she's like, "You give this to everyone." It's hilarious. It's things like that. It's pretty funny.
And then it was just a bottle of booze, which was also funny too. He's just an underlying alcoholic throughout the whole movie.
Yeah, like he's getting
Drinking before
blasted
he
in
goes
the
to
library, and
Mhm.
yeah,
Takes a swig. Was he drinking Crown?
It looked like it was
I
probably
think
more fancier than that.
no, but I remember he goes to like the liquor store and at the bar. He's like, "I'll take a Crown."
Oh, you
And he
get his
gets
Yeah.
Jim
drunk as
Beam.
fuck. Yeah, Jim Beam. That's what it was.
yeah.
Cause
I think the Mary Lamb character has a real sad story. I know Brian already alluded to it a little bit, but yeah, she lost her son and her fiance, right? When her son was younger,
yeah, I
they weren't married
think so.
yet. Yeah, so she's lost like multiple people who are very very close to her.
Mhm.
But yeah, like at the Christmas party too, when she's kind of having that
That
breakdown.
was
It's like,
dude, that was
damn,
a
dude.
really good scene that shows
It
like
was.
this
Right.
makeshift family come together because it's the three of them and then the janitor that was also on the grounds, and they're just standing there and they kind of just go silent and they just let her do her thing and they like basically console her, and it's just like, all right, like we're gonna get you out of here. And again,
Yeah,
that's where we got the scene where Tully's going back and forth with Paul Giamatti, and that's when Mary, again, even after she just had her breakdown about missing her son, was just like, you don't say that to a kid, like, at all. Like, you're
right.
technically his keeper right now. And as much as you don't want to be that for him, kid's only 16, 17 years old. Like, he's an asshole. But you teach kids for a living. Get used to that.
Yeah. Even the road trip to Boston was
Which was cool.
adorable.
It was great, too, because, again, another Mary scene. When they asked her why she wasn't doing anything, it was because the last place that she was with her son was at that school, and she goes, I feel like I'm leaving him if I go anywhere. Like, she didn't want to go see his family or her family or anything. So when they do the trip
Hmm.
to Boston, they convince her to go, and she visits and stays with her family for, I think, what, they were there for a night, 2 nights.
Yeah, 2 nights, I think.
Yeah, so she got out and got to enjoy family time, and then she still met up with them. And you get that awesome scene where they won't serve him the fucking cherry, whatever. And they
Yeah.
go, "Do you have cherries?" She goes, "Yeah." She goes, "Do you have ice cream?" She goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Okay, can we get that in a box to go?" And Paul Giamatti, with the flask on him as always, because he's the goat, fucking pours it on there, and you just watch it go up in flames. Because even I watched it with my mom, another one of these movies where I threw it on for background noise for her, and she was just in it. But she goes, the whole box is gonna catch fire, and sure enough, you see him like, oh man, it is not going out.
Yeah. Nah, I did. I thought it was good, man. Like, and that's this is like one of those sneaky movies. Like, I feel like if it wasn't nominated, we probably would have never watched it.
Right, and I'd be kicking myself because I looked at my
Yeah.
mom and I go, damn, like this would have been a great movie to watch when it came out for like Christmas time. And
Mhm.
now I know for a fact that I will probably throw it on come next Christmas.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, that was
it's
gonna be my
definitely
next
an easy
question.
watch.
Yeah, I think I was upset that I missed it for Christmas.
Yep.
Like
Yeah,
I wish
exactly how
I
I
would have
felt.
watched it. Yeah. Yeah, I guess to talk about the Boston trip a little bit. I liked like too, there's like little things too that you really wouldn't notice, but like Paul telling Tully to like go grab her bags, like help her up the stairs. It's things like that, like a father would teach him against the son sort of
Mhm.
thing. Even though, he's 17, but still it's like manners, right? Being a gentleman. And
Right. And then there's that
um
scene too where they're in the hotel room. And again, because
yeah.
it is like you're watching these little like father figure type movements that Paul is giving him, but at the same time they don't really know each other. And granted, Tully doesn't really like him because he is a hard ass in the classroom. But Tully's little medicine bag or whatever opens, and it's his depression medicine. And like Paul instantly knew what it was. And when you see Tully go into the bathroom and he's all embarrassed about it, Paul pulls out his prescription. It's the same exact thing, like they're on the same medication. And you're like,
Right.
fuck, like these guys do have a lot in common. And like, again, I think at that point, had we seen the bowling thing too, the bowling scene, or was that after that?
After,
Okay. Because that was
I
another one.
think.
He goes, like everyone hates you, like everyone hates you, and he's telling that to
Just laying it
Paul.
out on the table.
And that's also he gets the joke off about which eye do you aim with because they're trying to bowl. And again, you don't get that answered until the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. He throws it back at him too,
Hmm.
about everyone hating him.
Yep.
Yeah, and then they go see that movie, and then you think Tully's running away. He's not.
Yeah.
He wants to go see his dad, and at this point, we think he's dead.
Yeah,
Because
because
you
that's
mentioned before that
yeah when
his
he
dad
breaks down at
died.
the Christmas party because he said something about his dad, like, "Oh, you miss your mommy and daddy," and he's like, "My dad's dead."
Yeah,
And So he goes, it's not what you think, because he stops him when he's getting in a cab. And again, you're thinking Tully's being a shithead teenager again. You're like, dude, come on. Like, let us get to that point in the movie. And he goes, I want to go see my dad. And you think he's going to a cemetery, and you see him pull up at a psychiatric hospital. And you're like, oh, shit. And then you see the interaction, and he totally tells his dad everything that he's got going on. He's like, I'm going to try out for tennis team. The dad looks him dead in the eye, and I mean, it's a little funny. He just goes, I think they're putting something in my food. You're like, oh, damn, he's like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
I'm
the
happy
kid,
too
like,
they don't.
it's
Sorry,
pretty
go ahead.
quick saying like how like he said his dad was completely fine, and then one day he just started rambling, and then it just got severely worse.
Yeah, I think you said what, 4 years?
Yep.
So he's 12, 13 probably. Yeah, and I'm glad that they didn't show him giving the dad the snow globe either.
Because you did see him playing with it at that party.
Right.
I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Then also you got to think like what scumbags, because we're getting to that part now. Like what scumbags his mom and like stepdad are. Because,
I was thinking that the
send
whole
I mean,
him
but we
home.
knew that from the beginning when they wouldn't
Yeah,
take him
but
home.
I mean, one, they wouldn't take him home, and you heard the phone call like with his mom. He's obviously upset, and then the fact that they don't answer when everyone leaves, everyone gets the okay to go skiing, but him. So
And then they send him
imagine
a
that.
Christmas card, and it's
Full of
just
money.
cash, and it's like, fuck
Yeah.
you guys.
Full of money, and then it's like, all right, and then
Yeah, because
I don't
he's
know,
rich, right? The boyfriend.
yeah,
I think
Yeah.
they said that.
Yeah,
Or
because that's
I
why
mean,
he's
he's
got.
at boarding school, so everyone there's pretty well.
Ah,
off.
okay. Yeah.
But yeah,
Good point. Yeah, so I mean I like that scene a lot. Just to talk about him and his dad, that was one of like the couple that was like pretty emotional. I feel like just because you could see like the hurt in his eyes when his dad responded like that, Brian. And yeah, it was like, oh damn, okay. So I mean, like at the end of the day, he does feel like he lost his dad, especially to the point where like he can't ever visit him. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Which again is another crazy thing on the mom's part. Is like there's repercussions for you taking him to visit him. Now there's an expectation. Like it's fucked up that you see it as an expectation and not a boy wanting to go see his dad. Like that's
Right.
insane.
And she's literally doing it just because she's got a new boyfriend.
Yep.
Like, and then that's the part where I love when Paul Giamatti goes, and this is the only thing, honestly, now that we're talking about it, that I can say that I disliked about this movie, knowing that Paul Giamatti was nominated for like his role in this, building up. I don't even know how long this movie was. It wasn't that long.
2:12?
2 hours 13.
All right,
Yeah,
but you
2:12.
get to that point and you know that Paul Giamatti's about to snap on Tully's parents, and he goes in his like monologue or whatever you're waiting for. Like this has got to be like the icing on the cake. Like like this is why he's nominated, and it's so cut and like slim.
Yep.
He's like like he doesn't go off. Like you think that he's just going to go on a rant, and he doesn't. Which
Well, I mean,
what
he
is
says
still
I don't
good.
give a shit. Like he does give it to him a little bit.
But I just wanted like a little bit more, and I feel like if he
No
had just a little
Angela
bit more, it
Bassett in
would've secured.
Wakanda forever, if you
Yeah.
will.
right.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, like what he said was good. Yeah, I'm glad he takes the blame for Tully saying saying that the kid should be able to see his dad, and which he isn't in the wrong at all, which is crazy. And it's funny that he says to the dean or whatever, he's like, "You're a human form of penis, or your penis cancer in human form."
Yep.
Right.
I was like, "What the fuck?"
I was worried when they left Boston and were coming home that maybe they would kind of revert back to the way they were when they started, where the movie started. But like I think having the New Year scene right after where they're celebrating New Year's and he pulls out the
dude.
firecracker. Yeah, I thought that whole scene was really good, and I'm glad like that just showed they still have that connection together. And
Dude, there was that shot too where you see him go light off the firecracker inside for whatever goddamn reason. That shit was funny. But the camera goes from outside and you literally see the brick wall and you see through the window and it's just them enjoying their fucking night together.
Right.
Yeah, it's awesome.
All hugging and stuff. It's so cool.
I was hoping there was gonna be one night where he got blasted with them, where he was gonna get that Miller.
Yeah.
Oh, but then he went to a Christmas party and started kissing a girl that he didn't even have a conversation with yet.
Yep.
Just finger painting.
She's like, "Are you looking at my boobs? Trying to look down my shirt?"
No. Yes. I was like,
all our little cousins are right there.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I thought that scene was gonna get like worse, like especially when he goes, "Hey, can you come here?" I'm like, "Oh shit, what did he do?" Because I'm like,
Yeah, I thought
he
it was
fucked
something bad
up.
too.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then I was like, and then it ended up being
Breakdown.
yeah,
Yeah, I think that part where he gets fired, I like that a lot. I mean, that's what the movie is building up to. Um, I don't know. It's hard because I think the movie earned that, but like Eaton said, it was cut a little short. But he stands on business. He says what he has to say. He's not really yelling at them either, right? I mean, he's just kind of
When Paul Giamatti money spread on them.
yeah.
yeah, money spread on him. I
No,
don't
but I
know.
mean, it is good. And then like even that farewell at the end, where they like don't want to hug each other, but like they just shake hands, and then Tully just runs across the yard. Like he's saying like, "Oh, I can skip. We can go get a beer and a burger." He's like, "No," but
Well, yeah,
I think
the whole point was him sacrificing his job for this kid to have a chance.
yeah,
Right.
no,
That would be so ass backwards if they went and did that.
yeah, they go in,
Win skid.
yeah, skip. What was it, PE or whatever?
Yep.
Yeah, but the kid is at an age where he kind of understands, but really doesn't know yet. I feel like you know what I mean. Like doesn't fully understand
Mhm.
until once he's
Which
older.
I
So
also liked when Paul walks into the office and it's just Tully sitting there and you don't know if Tully like ratted on him or what, like about the whole thing, like you don't
Yeah, he's
know.
in shock.
But then you see Mary come out and he tells Mary like my parents are here or my mom's here and her boyfriend. She goes, I heard, that's why I'm here. And then they just kind of hold hands while the whole ordeal goes on because he's convinced he's getting sent off to military school now.
right.
And so that happens, but again you get to see Mary there, and then when Paul does get fired, he comes out, he tells him which eye is the one that he focuses on, and obviously it's the one that's not all bugged out. uh and the three of them are there. It's like our little family that we've grown to know him throughout the whole movie now, and it was cool that Paul not only sacrificed his job so that way Tully can go on and do good things. I think he called him like what, a genius. He goes, or did he say he was brilliant, not a genius, something like
Yeah,
that?
so
He goes,
he's
but he
got
is
potential,
very
but he's not.
smart.
I'm not calling him a genius, but he has a lot of potential.
Right, and which is real as fuck because that's everything that he's seen. Plus, Tully was the only one that I think Tully got the highest grade on that exam in the beginning.
Right.
So
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, you got
if
like
everyone else was
C
getting,
minus or
yeah,
something,
exactly,
C
because all
plus.
those entitled kids weren't fucking trying at all, and that was the thing too. Like we kind of glossed over that why Paul was stuck there was because the other professor lied, and the dean was pissed at him because he wouldn't pass a legacy student, and he's like, that kid is a dumbass. Like I'm not gonna pass him through my class just because you want him here, or because you want his dad's money.
Yeah, and then so he went to Stanford, right? And then he hit the guy with his car.
Hmm.
He was telling that story. I like that too. It's like it's a good background without having to show what happened. Just him having a one-on-one conversation with Tully about what happened and
Yeah, what is I hit
you
him,
know,
and then long pause with my car, and you're like,
with my
oh
car.
shit.
Yeah. Um yeah, I
Oh wait! What is the real quick? It's when they're in the liquor store after that interaction. The
mhm.
guy's like, "Is that all for you, murder or something?" When the clerk says that, you
Oh,
guys
I
remember
forget
that?
what he calls him, but
Yeah,
it's
he's like, "Are you sure you kill her?" He like says something. I was dying, and it's super quick, and then it cuts. I'm like, "Wait, what?"
because again, he's just got to get a little re-up for his flask.
Yeah, but
the
it's because
candy
he
cane
tells him
part
the
was funny
story.
too.
Yeah,
When they're shopping for books or looking around at books.
Hmm.
yeah. He's like, "Go get your candy cane."
He's like, "Oh, so you've never had sex before?"
Yeah, no. And I mean
Said
that goes
Band-Aid.
back to like the father son like aspect of this movie too.
Hmm.
He's like,
Right, and I think Tully says
I
like
cherish
this is
what
his
I'm seeing.
third school or whatever. He's been kicked out of other schools before. Obviously,
Yeah, he was kicked
he's
out of two
acting out
prior.
because he's acting out because his dad and his mom's kind of an
Hmm.
asshole. So
And you could tell he had a good heart too from when all the other kids were there, and the little dude from, where is he from, Korea?
mhm.
Yeah, the little kid from Korea like pissed his bed, and he was just like, "Look, like go find a dry spot, lay there. I'll help you with the sheets in the morning, so the other guys don't fucking kill you for making fun of you."
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, he clearly has a good heart, and I think that's just stuff Paul saw and knew he still had a future. Like he was telling him, "You're not your dad." I like that scene a lot too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm not
I
my
did
dad. You're
like
not
he
your dad.
goes, "You are a different man." He goes, "Well, boy."
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
can we talk about the very last scene? And it's
Mhm.
when Paul's driving and he's like about to take a left out of the intersection.
Pulls out that
And
bottle.
pulls out the bottle and then he takes a swig of it, washes it around, and then spits it out. So we think he's like changing his ways. I thought so. We were laughing about it when I was talking to the my coworker, and I'm like, dude, it could have went so dark because he just lost his job, like all this shit. Like I thought he was gonna take a swig and like full speed, like off into like a cliff or something. Like he just
The fucking car hits him out of nowhere.
or there's a cop like directly across the street. And he just rams right into him while he's parked. I'm like, I had no idea like what to expect at that part, and like especially him, like because if he's gonna quit drinking, he's gonna spit the liquor out, then he's gonna throw the bottle. And I was waiting for the bottle thrower.
I think he was pouring one out because I don't even think we saw him put the top on like the fucking
No, he
bottle.
did. He just sat
Yeah,
right next to him.
so I think it's open ended as to if he was gonna dump the bottle out on his way or if he was just pouring one out in a way to let go of his past. So that's why he spit and then he hit the road.
Possibly. But I don't know why I had like dark intentions on that. He's just gonna fucking drive.
I figured he just spit it out because he's like, I'm done with this place. I'm moving on somewhere else. I don't know, but because where did he say he was going? Arizona or something with a friend, or Syracuse?
He was stopping in Syracuse first to drop off his stuff with a friend, and then he was gonna hit the road.
And then Mary gave him that book so he can write his
memoirs.
It wasn't a memoir. It was like it had some weird name, but whatever. His book.
Yeah. I mean, how do you guys feel about an ending like this? It's a little sad. I feel like.
I think it's good
in a way.
I like it though because you get to like, it's not like an open ended where you have no idea what the hell's going on. Like what they're gonna go do with each other's lives. So I don't know. I like it.
Yeah, you have an idea.
I think it's like a solid. It's honestly probably one of the better endings we've seen in a movie in quite some time.
Yeah.
For being honest.
Well, when I was watching this, I was like, damn, a lot of these. I mean, I guess this is always the case, but I was like, a lot of these Oscar movies this year, I feel like are sad, from what I've heard. I mean, I haven't seen them all yet, but I heard Poor Things is really sad, stuff like that. So, obviously, Oppenheimer's a little depressing as well.
Fuck yeah.
So, seeing this too, I was like, damn, this is another one that's.
I'm excited. Sad. I mean, this is one of the Oscar movies that we haven't all seen that we're starting to get into before the ceremony or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, because I think March 10th is the date for the Oscars.
Yep.
So we're excited to see it. We'll do a predictions episode. But yeah, you guys want to get into? Yeah, I want to watch more of them. I think Mike said something about wanting to watch that Maestro movie. I think just because Bradley Cooper's in it.
I'd watch that one.
Yeah, I'd watch that one too.
I'm gonna hope to watch them all. My only thing is like Killers of the Flower Moon. Like, as much as I have to watch it, like it's 3.5 hours long.
Oh, you haven't seen it yet?
This 2-hour-long movie took me 3.5 days to watch.
Holy shit!
Yeah. You're not dedicated, dude. It's not even 2.5. It's 2:12.
No, it's not even that. I am dedicated. I get in bed and I'm literally like in bed at 10:30, watching it, and the next thing I know, I'm fucking cashed out. Then I gotta rewind the movie. It's fucked.
Yeah, and you don't want to look because you don't want to see anything.
What?
I said, yeah, and then you don't want to peek when you're rewinding it.
Yeah,
you don't want to see anything.
Sucks. So I just restarted. But I'll start off with scores. I mean, I'm not going to repeat myself from what we just said, but it's a sleeper movie for sure. I didn't think it was too bad, like as a slow start, because I didn't know anything about it. So I mean, like watching it for the first time, you're locked in. But Paul Giamatti, I mean, like we said, he's been around for decades, and this is like, besides Big Fat Liar, and I don't really know. I'd have to look up like his IMDb, but I mean, this role definitely stands out. So like now, like this, it's on his legacy, I guess you could call it. But I think he deserves the nomination. It kind of stinks knowing that he's not gonna win. But I mean, either way, it was a good. I mean, those nominations for Oscars and shit like that, like they stay forever. Like Oscar nominated Paul Giamatti.
Oh yeah,
like those will stay for.
It's impressive enough to be nominated.
Yeah, 100%. So I mean, that's a award in its own. But I don't know if I can give this like a high 90 because I mean a lot of meat watchers, I guess I'll call it. I'll throw it out there. Like to if you gave this a 96, then how come Black Panther was 100? Whatever bullshit, Mike. Um, but no, I feel solid giving this. I'll say a 94. 94 is sitting up there. It's not the
Okay.
best movie I've ever watched, but I mean it's definitely a decent watch. I highly recommend it. I would tell pretty much anyone I talk to go take.
So the reason I'm asking this is just because we recently saw it. Do you think you like the Iron Claw a little bit more than this, or I don't remember what your score was, but I mean just to say,
Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing is like I can't compare movies. Like,
Okay.
I enjoy them both the same. I think Iron Claw
Okay.
was more entertaining with
Yeah.
like the wrestling and shit like that, and Zac Efron knowing, like, growing up watching him,
Right.
and seeing like where he is now. But I don't know. I guess I say Iron Claw is better, but it's definitely a lot sadder. This is
They're
like a
pretty
good.
close.
But like you said, I mean, I don't think I'd rewatch this movie multiple times. Like, if I was with someone and they've never seen it, I'd be like, hell yeah, like going through just showing people movies. But
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
I'll go
What do you
next.
think, Pav?
I was thinking about it a lot as to what I wanted to score this movie because it is really good. And I think if I would have watched it around Christmas time, I would have actually had it up higher. But again, I know I'm going to return to this movie. It is that fucking good. Paul Giamatti killed it. I'm blanking on the actress's name that played Mary, but I just watched her in Only Murders in the Building. She plays one of the detectives that reoccurs throughout the 3 seasons of that show, and I fucking loved her in that. And so to see her in this, I was like, all right, like I'm really happy that this lady's making a name for herself because she's doing a great fucking job. And then again, once I realized this was Tully's first ever fucking movie that he's ever been in, I again
didn't know that.
calling him off his character name. I can't tell you the actual actor's name, but this is the first thing he's ever been in. And I thought he did a great job. And the story itself was woven together really well. You do get that sense of like comfort from this movie because it's just a ragtag team put together going through their own struggles, and then at the end you get to see them be together, and it's not like super in your face. Like there isn't that aha moment until the end kind of, and that's when you get it. But like I said, it's not super in your face. It's just it's there and you appreciate it because you've watched these people now for 2 hours 10 minutes probably, and it worked really well. And like I said earlier, from just the beginning, the camera work in this was fucking amazing. So shout out to whoever was doing that. But all in all, I think I'd give this movie a solid 92. Again, I think if I did watch this around Christmas time, I'd be giving it like a fucking 98. But 92 for sure. Definitely give this one a watch.
Yeah. I think you're right there. This is something too, Brian. I'll definitely come back to for Christmas time for sure. I was like, damn, I just missed it. And then too in December, obviously, most people are always on these like Christmas movie kicks. So this is definitely one I want to add to my list and watch it again. Especially seeing where the character development ends up between all three of these characters. And that's one of my favorite things about movies is what character development can do for characters in general in movies. I really love where they started and where they ended up. And I mentioned that the movie's kind of a little slow burn at the beginning for me, but I think at the end it is almost worth it. And to what Brian said too, like this movie's shot on film, similar to like Saltburn. I think I'm becoming a sucker for movies shot on film. It looks a lot better to me for some reason. I don't know what it is. I noticed it like right away. I'm like, oh, awesome, and it really like, and maybe because Saltburn was made in the past too, technically, like the story takes place in the past, most of it. And so is this. Maybe that's why they go for these film. I don't know, or maybe just it looks better is why they do it. But I love it. So, I think it really just add this feel to it. It like totally convinced me it was in the 70s for sure. So, great ending. I like movies that don't just end in a happy ending. Like it was, he lost his job for this kid because this kid has a nice bright future. He's got a long life ahead of him. He's always been known as an asshole to everyone. His friend, people he considers friends, not much of them, but he has some friends. And for him to go out, he kind of went out like a hero, honestly. So I'm going to go with a 90. I really enjoyed this movie a lot. I think Paul Giamatti, my favorite role he's probably been in is the Rhino in Amazing Spider-Man 2, but this is a close second.
Is he the Rhino?
Yeah.
No
Fuck
way.
you. We all know it's
No
Big Fat
fucking
Liar, Josh.
way.
Shut the fuck up.
All right.
How did I
All
never
right. Big
know
Fat
that?
Liar.
Did they show
This,
his
then.
face?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, I gotta rewatch that.
Yeah, I think he's in it for 3 minutes. He's
There's
in that
no
like car chase at the
way.
very beginning and at the end. Yeah.
There's no way I never
You didn't know that?
Yeah, you
No,
weren't
I
a
had
film guy when
zero
that movie
idea.
came out.
Yeah,
Tobey Maguire's your Spider-Man.
definitely.
Yeah, but
No, I mean another thing too is that Divine, the chef lady, Divine Joy, that's her name.
Yeah.
She was in The Idol, so I mean that's the only thing I've seen her in.
yeah, that was what I knew her from.
Yeah, and she sings and stuff too, like because she was on the Idol album.
Yeah, she Idol, not a great show, but she was one of the few characters that I really liked because she was really funny. She stood on business.
She money
I
spread
like
out
saying
there.
Yeah,
You gotta
she was a badass in the show though.
I never
come
watched
correct,
it. I
Josh.
was scared that it would ruin my image of Abel. Sorry,
No,
The
dude,
Weekend,
I
as
honestly
you
thought
guys
it was
know.
good. I mean, obviously it's fucking weird, but like it's not. like the
It's
worst
so
thing
bad
ever.
that it was fun to watch. Honestly, I don't regret watching it. I really don't. I enjoyed watching it. So, but yeah, that was the Holdovers review. We got to pick another Oscar movie to do. We're gonna do Argyle next week though, because that's coming out in theaters by the time this comes out. It's not getting good reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. I think it's at like a 39%.
Oh, goody. This is gonna be what was that? What was that dumbass Adam Driver movie you guys were hyped about, and then it sucked?
Oh,
What was it? Oh, 65?
Yeah, that one.
No,
I
I'm
didn't see.
thinking about-
That's
what
one of
was
the
it?
few episodes I haven't been on.
What's
Actually, I
the what
never
is it?
saw that.
American Hustle? That's not American Hustle.
No,
What's
it
the
was
one where he
65.
was like, no, what's the one Adam Driver movie where he's like, oh,
Logan Lucky.
Logan Lucky. There you go. It's like NASCAR.
Is that really
and
what it
shit,
was?
right?
Yeah.
Well, the movie I was thinking about was 65 with the
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
dinosaurs.
I
and
want
shit.
to say Logan Lucky though.
Yeah, but Argyle has such an insane cast.
I don't even know who the
Like-
fuck's in
They
it.
never do good.
It's like Henry Cavill,
Jesus,
Samuel L.
Tarantino.
Jackson, Dua Lipa. I think Gary Oldman's in it.
I might be out on that one.
I
We'll
really
see.
think Tarantino's the only one that can actually pull off that like stat cast.
Yeah, I don't
Like,
know the
never
complete
flop.
cast yet. I haven't looked too much into it. I tried avoiding trailers. They keep showing them before movies. So I'm not like paying too much attention to it because I want to go in as blind as possible. But with the
Well,
cast, I think it's Bryan Cranston actually, not Gary Oldman. It's Bryan
Nice.
Cranston, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So the cast is really good. It'd be hard to fuck it up, but apparently they kind of are. So
So-
maybe we'll shit on the movie next week. I don't know.
No, the whole thing with Argyle is that trailer that they dropped
hmm
is like it's you don't know, like at the end it's like this is the real Argyle, and it's like it just like blanks, so it's like a cliffhanger, so you got to watch the movie in order to find out who Argyle is. And then
Really?
someone discussing films posted on Twitter like a year ago saying like the synopsis
hmm
of the movie, and it was like what's her name, fuck, Bryce Dallas Howard is Argyle, so like she's the one that's writing it, but actually she's like she has dementia or something, so she doesn't.
Huh.
So
So did you just
It
spoil the
really-
movie
I was
for
gonna
us?
say you just fucking
Yeah.
spoil it.
I
Dick.
Do I have to cut this out?
Dude, you're a dick. You're an
I got it
absolute
spoiled for
asshole.
me.
Yeah, so what? We have to go
I
down
got
with
it,
you.
all right, all
That's
right.
some
I
Mike
gotta edit
shit.
this out.
That's
All
some
right.
Mike shit right there. I'm out of
no,
here.
so
End the episode,
I guess
Josh.
I guess I went too far ahead.
This
I
guy's
meant
a
to stop
dick.
myself, but either way,
You
I
meant to
mean,
stop yourself.
What
I
a
did.
I should've
fucking
stopped you.
asshole.
Yeah, but I mean,
All
fuck
right.
you.
All right, well, yeah, we'll review.
It's not like a fucking movie we've been waiting for. We don't have.
I just found out about it, and I had high hopes, and now I don't.
Oh.
Thanks, Aiden.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I gotta
hey,
cut
they
that.
fucking ruined it themselves. You can go Google it.
Hey, we gotta dox him. Aiden, say your address.
And your social security number.
Just look up Heritage Park. I'm like a block
God.
away from there. So
Oh god. All right. Well, that was our Holdovers review. We'll be back with we're gonna do Argyle next week. We'll see how good it is, and then we'll probably do more Oscar movies. I think. So
I think I'm gonna sit out on that one.
I don't even want to watch it. I know who Argyle is
Wait,
now.
Dua Lipa's in it.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah.
Front
All
row.
right. Good night, guys. I
I'm
love
excited
you.
for a roll.
See you next
All right.
week.
See you guys.
Peace out.